Little Nicky, welcome to Little Nicky. We're going to have so much fun today. Welcome to Did That Age Well, Nick.
Let's go. I look like a little Nicky.
You
the
really
backwards
do.
hat and the doodaddy hair. Dude, I look like little Nicky for sure.
Yeah, you do.
Not that little Nicky, but a little Nicky.
You do look like but really I think it's more like a L-I-L apostrophe, more like a little Nicky rather than like a little Nicky.
I do have a chain.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to rock a chain.
There's Lil Nicky.
Like Noah. Noah and I are rocking chains.
I love that. That's
Lil Nicky.
Lil Nicky.
Yeah.
There he is. Listeners, you're in for a real treat. Nick is the owner of the Dude IDK Studios. Good friend of mine. I was introduced. Hello, Winnie. I was introducing Nick to a friend of mine, and I said, Nick is definitely the nicest person I've met in the comedy scene.
I've said that about you in general.
Stop it.
In general. This is the nicest. This is going to be the nicest episode ever.
Oh my God, you guys, this is going to be so wholesome. It's disgusting.
It's going to be gross. Turn it off now.
If you like nice people, you're going to hate this.
This should be like a children's YouTube channel after this. Like ages 3 and up.
Yeah, definitely. When they say on YouTube, is this video made for kids or not for kids? I'm going to say, this is made for kids.
Yes.
Fuck yeah, kids. Let's go. Nick, tell me why you wanted to talk about Little Nicky.
We had chosen a movie before, but
yes, we had.
It was just a little, I think it was a little depressing. Everything I noticed my notes were like, ugh. So Little Nicky is just one of those movies. It was on. We were watching movies in the studio. Shout out Jacob Rupp.
Yeah.
We watched movies in the studio sometimes, and it was on one night, and I was like, "Oh man, this is such." I haven't seen this movie since it came out.
Yeah.
It was on VHS.
Yeah.
And I found myself laughing again, and I was like, "Okay, some of this is like it's better than what he's come out with recently." So, I wanted to do it. I was hoping it was on your list, and it wasn't. So
it wasn't on my list. So I'm really glad that you brought it up because I had forgotten about this movie until you brought it up. But I remember watching it when I was younger too. Like we had it on DVD at my grandparents' house. I'm sure my grandparents have never seen this movie.
Yeah.
But my grandpa used to own a video store. So like he had a bunch of movies around. And I remember watching this with my sister. She might not even remember this, but I remember I was young enough that I thought it was kind of scary. I thought that hell seemed a little scary. And I do remember being absolutely scandalized by this movie. I thought it was so raunchy. So I must have been quite young.
I was wondering what your thoughts were. I can't wait to hear what you think of it.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, honestly, Nick, I'm so sorry to break your heart, but I thought this fucking sucked.
Yeah. It's not a. I honestly, hot take. I don't think any Adam Sandler movie is good.
Really?
I don't think.
What about Uncut Gems, or as some would say, Uncut Gems?
Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems.
I had anxiety that entire movie.
Yeah.
I felt like I would have offed myself if I took an edible beforehand. I was sweaty and I was anxious and knowing it's a true story somewhat.
Yeah.
He did a great job. He's a great actor. I do love 50 First Dates.
Yes.
I will take that back.
Yeah. Take that back for 50 First Dates. Yeah.
And it's amazing what the cast was for what the product was.
For what this movie had everything going for it to be good, and somehow they still fumbled it, in my opinion.
I think there's a lot of reasons for that, though. I mean, I don't know if we want to go over it right now yet, but
well, let's get into it. What else are we doing here?
It was at the time when Chris Farley died. Like
That's
the movie
true.
came out about a year and a half, 2 years after he died. So the process of making it and script writing it and stuff like that, I guess he was supposed to be heavily involved with it, and I think they changed it a lot.
Yeah.
Because of it. So
okay, this I did not know.
Yeah.
And that's why it makes a lot more sense that at the end of the movie, when they're like, where are they now? Reese Witherspoon's character falls in love with her aerobics teacher, Chris Farley.
Which is a Chris Farley character on SNL.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Man, how sad.
Yeah.
Probably would have been a lot better if he had been involved.
I will say the soundtrack is the only good thing about the movie.
Yeah.
The soundtrack hits so hard. I mean, it had like System of a Down, I think. It had Weirdly Disturbed, who sucks, but
but
it had like POD back when POD was cool. And I mean, I was like 9 years old at the time or 8 years old or something like that,
Yeah.
rocking these songs. Like that album is like my introduction to heavy metal. I listen to
No
metal,
way.
screaming stuff all the time. Like that album got me to like heavier.
Oh
I was
my God.
Backstreet Boys and
Yeah,
NSYNC
yeah.
and stuff,
Yeah.
and I completely flip the spectrum from that album. It's crazy.
Okay, when you watch this movie, did you also do a little side swoop with your hair?
I always had the part. I didn't want to be little Nicky, so hell no.
No one wants to be little Nicky.
No.
No.
But I mean, it's definitely one of those movies where I watched it again and I was like, okay, this is way better than his recent movies that come out on Netflix. It's way better
Right.
than, man, 90% of his movies,
Ugh,
I would
and
say.
that's so sad.
I'm not even like a Billy Madison. I'm not like a Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
I have people who would hate that, but like when people quote that, I cringe.
Yeah.
I've seen the movie 100 times. I've tried to like it. I have family and friends who are obsessed with him, so we watch it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't get onto the Sandler train. I think he's great.
Yeah.
I would love to meet him. He seems super cool.
Sure, come on the show.
Come on the show, Adam. You're invited. Let's play basketball. Let's do stuff, dude. But
Yeah.
and I love that he involves his friends with the stuff. I respect him
Of course.
I respect him of what he is and what he makes and how he does it. And
Yeah.
the movie is an example of let's just make this type thing, and he makes it happen.
I really respect him as a professional and as someone who just doesn't say no to a job. Like him and Nick Cage, I think both have been sort of regarded as like a joke because they just always say yes to stupid stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, Adam Sandler, it's not like, I mean, I guess he's not always just being asked to make stupid stuff. He's kind of like making it himself as well. But he's the kind of guy who just doesn't say no to a job.
Yeah.
And he's laughing all the way to the bank as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So I think, I mean, as a stand-up comic too, he's really talented. But I also never really got into Adam Sandler movies either. It just wasn't my thing.
I never got into Adam Sandler. Like I
Yeah.
loved him on SNL, but he's one
Yeah.
of those characters that can't really act as a character.
Right.
He has that like little voice he does. I'm not even gonna try to do it. I'm not even gonna try to do it. But like I loved Big Daddy. I think that was more of a more role for what he can do, which is like kind of a low life, early 20s, mid 20s, early 30s actor. But like he's just I don't think he's a good actor.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a good actor. Funny People, he was great in.
Yeah.
Funny People is one of those 5-hour-long Judd Apatow movies,
Yeah.
but he's playing himself in that too. He's kind of like the Pete Davidson in SNL if he can't do a lot.
That is so true. If he was on SNL today, he would only be on Weekend Update.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He had a couple recurring characters, but not like most of the like not
Right.
a lot of characters like the cast members had.
Right.
Especially in the 90s when they
In
all
the
had
90s,
something.
it was all recurring characters.
Chris Kattan
Yeah.
was like had more characters than
Adam Sandler.
and I'm sure some SNL person's gonna hear this and hate it and whatever, but
yeah. Sorry, guys.
but yeah, I think for what it's worth, I mean it's a fun movie if you're just obliterated out of your mind on
Yes.
mushrooms, but if you are, then I don't think I want to watch a movie about heaven and hell.
No.
But at least they made hell look fun.
I mean, yeah. And those guys at the very end, the Satanists, they were having the time of their freaking lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ozzy Osbourne eating a bat. I mean, let's fucking go.
The concept of the movie is hilarious.
That is the funniest part of the movie is the concept. I was telling a friend of mine today, she's like, I've never heard of Little Nicky. And I said, okay, so it's about this son of Satan and he has to like go to Earth to save the day. And she's like, oh, that's funny. And I said, yeah, that's the funniest thing about it.
Yeah.
It's just the concept.
I bet it's the least seen Adam Sandler movie.
You think so?
It was when it came out at the time, I think it was voted like the worst movie, one of the worst movies of all time.
Yep.
But there was like some really bad movies that year.
I know, it's crazy. This is regarded as one of the worst movies in 2000, and that was a year of shit movies.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
horrible. I mean, Godzilla 2000. My God. But I mean, then like coming back to it, even I think Roger, it wasn't Siskel and Ebert at the time. I think it was Roger, whatever they do to like do the 2 thumbs up type thing.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
They later on like redacted their what they said about Little Nicky of all movies and was like, this was actually probably Adam Sandler's best
What?
movie.
Oh, that's so sad.
And it made me think, okay, that either sucks to be you or maybe they end up liking it. Maybe it's like, I mean, I watched it when I was having a bad day. Like everything was breaking down, and it came on and it distracted me, and it was fun.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, it was just how they just made it is just ridiculous, and it was interesting. And I love how he just adds New York to everything. Like everything's New York. Everything, like there's a lot of scenes that were in Big Daddy or in his other movies, and I think it's fun.
I mean, the thing about all the New York scenes though in Little Nicky is that to me there were a few moments where I was like, a New York person would never say this. For instance, $1,200 for rent split down the middle. I mean, I know that this is in the year 2000, but I was like, this is obviously written by a person who's never paid rent in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the fact that there's this man in a park just snoring like a demon and it gathers a crowd. I was like, in New York, I don't think that that is enough to gather a crowd, or for someone to be on the news and they're like, this is a mass murderer, look out for him. In New York,
Pre 9/11 was a weird world. Now it's just, I mean, we think it's weird now, but pre 9/11 was a little bit like Family Matters, very PG. I don't know.
Yeah.
We had Tommy and Pam. That's all we had to like really.
Yeah.
Now then 9/11 happens and New York is like, ugh.
Like
it's desensitized.
another person just screaming in their sleep at Central Park.
Well, you've been to New York, right?
Yeah.
And you notice how they have the beams built around the buildings.
Yep.
So they build those because a lot of people think it's still under construction, like the building's getting renovated. It's because of people that jump out windows.
Yep.
They want the sidewalk.
Yeah.
So thinking about that is like
fucking dark.
every time I walk in those things, I'm just waiting for like a boom. I'm waiting for something to happen where I'm like, I won't jump. You know, you're waiting for the jump scare.
I'm not gonna jump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and then going back to, I mean, he brought a lot of nostalgic characters back to this. Like, I think, was it, it was Carl Weathers who played the golf pro in Happy Gilmore. Like, that's, when I was a kid, I didn't really understand it that much.
Yeah.
Because I saw the movie like twice when I was a kid, maybe once. And then that time I'm like, oh, that's from Happy Gilmore. I love that he included him.
Yeah.
And then, gosh, I think it was Rob Schneider's character that says, like, you can do it.
Yeah, he's like, you can do it.
That was the same one that I think he played in, what's the football movie?
Oh, Waterboy?
Waterboy. I think that was the same one.
Oh. Okay, that makes sense.
I wanted to fact check that before we recorded, but
God, Waterboy is such an awful movie too.
So bad, dude. Every time when Waterboy came out, I was a kid in elementary school. We'd always had to test by climbing the rope. Yeah. And we always had to improve from what we started with.
Oh God.
And everyone would be like, Gatorade. And I hated it so much. I hated it.
It's even when you were a child, you had a sophisticated enough sense of humor to know that was fucking stupid.
Oh. And there are people who are obsessed with Adam Sandler movies. And there's a kid who was in my school who was the smartest kid alive. Yeah. And he was so obsessed with Adam Sandler movies.
Where is he now?
He's a doctor.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, he's a doctor now. And I think in Oregon or something like that. And he always played Adam Sandler characters on Halloween and stuff like this. And it was fun. It was more mature than like, I think I was Pee Wee Herman for Halloween.
I mean, yeah, but still.
And I wanted to love something. I loved Chris Farley. I love Chris Farley movies.
Me too.
But I never got on the train of Adam Sandler, except for 50 First Dates.
Except for 50 First Dates.
I've seen it a million times. I'll watch it a million more.
What do you think about Punch Drunk Love?
I started it and fell asleep to it.
Yeah, that kind of sounds right. Yeah, it's one of those movies. I think, my experience with it, I think, is a little bit tainted by the fact that the person who showed it to me is a total snob and likes things that are, like, painful.
I was gonna say, I think it was in college when someone tried to show me that movie. Because I'm like, I'm not going to watch this. Right. And I was like, ugh. Yeah. Like, if you're recommending it, I'll say I watched it. Sure. And then they're like, did you watch it? Like,
and you're like, yeah, wow, that part when they like took all of the color out of that scene, I didn't
even know that much. I probably pressed play and I just immediately fell asleep. Yeah. I just remember like the DVD, the title screen playing all night. And being like, why am I not shutting this shit off yet? Yeah. So is it worth watching?
I don't know. I didn't finish it either. I watched probably 2/3 of it. I thought when I was watching it, I was kind of like, I don't really get it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get what the thing is that people love about it. And you know what, listeners, I'm sorry. But if you love Punch Drunk Love, give me a good reason why I should watch it.
We'll do that for the next one we do.
We'll do that for the next one, and then we'll absolutely obliterate it if we can stay awake.
Yeah.
Wikipedia told me that this movie established the shared universe of Adam Sandler films. I don't know that it established the shared universe of Adam Sandler films.
I do think it was like the first one that did.
Okay.
Annoyingly, I've seen all of them a million times.
Yeah.
I don't want to say a million times, but all my friends are Adam Sandler like fans. My
Really?
cousins, when I'd stay with them on holidays,
Oh my gosh.
they had like the Adam Sandler box sets. We had
Oh,
to watch
wow.
all of them type thing.
Oh, damn.
And it really was like the first one that I remember like bringing in the multiverse of Adam
Okay.
Sandler movies, like the Carl Weathers. And
Okay.
there are probably other things. I watched it again to see if there were other things. I couldn't find other things,
Yeah.
but there were probably some Easter eggs here and there.
I'm sure the Adam Sandler heads will know.
Like someone in the background wearing a Waterboy jersey or something.
Yeah. Something
So.
like that. I just don't know the timeline exactly of Adam Sandler movies. Like, I don't remember the year that Happy Gilmore came out.
I'm gonna guess 95,
Okay.
6.
All right. Well, we have that on record now. So that's recorded. So
Yeah.
we'll find that out. But then, okay.
Billy Madison was before Happy Gilmore.
Correct.
Okay, we'll
But
figure it out.
okay, if this movie was in 2000, then wouldn't you say that it wouldn't then be the establishment of the shared universe? Or is it that this is the first movie that brings in multiple characters from different movies, therefore creating a shared universe?
From Adam Sandler wise,
Yeah.
maybe, yeah.
Well, it doesn't really matter that much. It just feels to me like I don't know that it's a good thing that
Yeah.
this movie established the shared universe of Adam Sandler films. If it was the beginning of the universe, the shared universe of films, I don't think they were off to a great start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I like Funny People is because he makes fun of himself.
Yeah.
He makes fun of his character. Like I think there was a movie. Have you seen Funny People?
Yeah.
They're like the Merman movie.
Yeah.
Like he makes fun of himself, and like that's kind of the joke
Right.
of like you've made all these horrible movies, and now he's trying to get back into stand up type stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what I appreciate the most about the movie.
Yeah.
Is because they acknowledge that his movies are horrible,
Right.
but he has such a like cult fan base that I mean he has his own Facebook page of people that look like him.
That's so funny.
And I think we've all met someone that looks like him.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, I love that I'm gonna go back to him casting his friends all the time.
Okay.
The
let's
little
go back to
Happy
that.
Gilmore crew,
Yeah.
because he even has his own dog, his own bulldog. He's
That's
casted his
true.
own dog a few
He
times.
cast his own dog, which I thought was cool. Can we talk about how the dog's voice did not sound like the voice of that dog? The dog's voice sounded like not like a bulldog at all. I thought that dog needed a much lower, grittier voice and not a fucking annoying like
But
voice.
I will go out and say I think that's how New Yorkers sound. Sorry, New York, but your voices suck. I've sat on those subways. I've been yelled at. I've been honked at from all of you.
Yeah.
Ugh, those voices. I think it's the perfect voice for what a New Yorker is, I guess.
Yeah.
Just like that kind of cringy, like, I think I'm tough. Like, I think that it's the perfect,
yeah.
like, small man syndrome. Was that what it's called? Like, where they're
Like little
smaller,
man
but they
syndrome?
think, like, little
Yeah.
man syndrome where they think they're big, but they're not. And that's kind of what a
Yeah.
bulldog is.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Getting way too psychological
No,
about
no,
it.
it's
But I
okay.
did think about the voice, too. Thinking of who's
Yeah.
voicing it and all that stuff.
Yeah. I wonder too, just what you think about Nicky's voice. Adam Sandler's Nicky. First of all, why is his voice like that?
Getting hit with a shovel.
Getting hit with a shovel does not make you talk like you have just a raspy voice.
Have you been hit in the face with a shovel?
No, have you?
I had a big brother, yeah.
Is that what your face is
And I
like
talked,
that?
yes,
Just kidding.
and I talked like that for 2 years.
No,
it took
you
me
didn't.
tons of therapy.
Stop it.
No, he did shove a whistle down my throat one time.
What the fuck?
I was blowing a whistle in his face while he's talking on the phone with his girlfriend or something like that. And we're
Oh
at my
my God.
friend's house, a little kid. I don't know why we were all there. I think we were having like a barbecue or something like
Oh
that.
my God.
And I was blowing in his face, being annoying. And he takes the whistle and shoves it, and it cuts my throat, but it was too deep to have. And we were poor. I was too deep to get
Oh my
stitches
God.
or
Oh my
anything like
God.
that. So I had to suck on popsicles for almost 10 hours until it like stopped.
Oh
And I guess
my
they said
God.
that the sugar is perfect for coating the throat and stuff like that. So it'll help like
Oh my God.
stop the bleeding. And it did. But I probably had 3 cases of popsicles.
Whoa.
And I can't have a popsicle to this day because of it. It's so gross.
That is fucked up.
So gross, dude.
Oh my God.
It was those you know those red, white, and blue
Oh yeah, of course.
firecracker popsicles.
Yeah.
It was started with those, and then all they had were like the long, fruity ones.
Yep, like an otter pop.
Like an otter pop, and then we tried the push pops.
Yep.
But those, I mean, it started getting really disgusting, and that didn't work at all.
Yeah.
So I had to like keep something. It was, I mean, disgusting to have to hold it in my throat and like
Oh
just
my
gag
God.
all night. But
That is so fucked up.
so, and I sounded like the bulldog from Little Nicky after. So I couldn't talk for like 2 weeks. It was crazy.
My God, did you have like a little whistle in your voice?
Could you imagine like what is it? Like they swallow the squeaker and they're talking. That's so funny.
Holy shit, that's crazy. Wait, okay, can we talk about one thing with the shovel to the face? So, little Nicky is allegedly his face is the way that it is. Like it's kind of like one half of his face is frozen because his brother hits him with a shovel.
Yeah.
To me, I don't know. Let me know if you think this is a stretch, but it feels like it looks like he's making fun of someone with like cerebral palsy. He looks like he has cerebral palsy, and it's like the frozen half of his face is supposed to be this funny part that like makes him a dweeb, but it makes him look like a disabled guy, and it feels icky.
It's one of those things that he probably came up with at the writer's table or something.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, but they're not going to say anything because he's the
Right.
guy.
Of
His
course.
name's on it. So he like laughs to himself, and maybe a couple of
Yeah.
his like guys laugh with him, but I don't know. Like when I was a kid, I always wondered why it was like a shovel face thing and why he would do that. So my friend who I talked about,
Mm-hmm.
he dressed up like him for Halloween, and in 6th grade, and he got sent to the office because we had a kid with cerebral palsy in our class,
Oh my God.
and he got sent to the office because the teacher had no idea that he was acting as a character,
Oh my God.
but he's really
She
acting
just-
with cerebral. Yeah,
She just thought that he was like making fun of
Yeah.
that kid. Okay, that is all the proof that I needed that yes, this depiction of a frozen face person definitely is giving I'm making fun of
yeah.
cerebral palsy.
It's one of those things that like he added too much salt
Yeah.
to like that's. It's like, all right, do you really have to?
Did you have to do that?
So
And also it completely goes away once he starts eating chicken. Like
Yeah.
he doesn't commit to it in a way that I think works for a feature film. Like maybe in like a practical way it would have worked for one sketch in sketch comedy, but when it's an entire movie and you're committing to like just moving half of your face, it just looks like you're Adam Sandler kind of moving half of your face inconsistently.
Yeah.
You know?
it's like a little joke that was just taken too long, and
Yeah. It should have just been like, if he was going to do that, it should have been that like his brother hit him with a shovel and then he's like, oh, that's crazy that you did that. And
Well,
then like doesn't do it again.
I think they're like trying to establish too much. I mean,
Yeah.
he was an SNL guy, and a lot of those 90s were like over the top, like adding little things.
Yeah.
So I think like trying to establish that they were bullies growing up, and like it's just kind of a hoo-ha humor thing that
Yeah.
it's whatever.
Yeah.
But back to the New York thing.
Yeah. Let's talk about New York.
Like Radio Man. Do you know who Radio Man is?
No.
So he is this. He appears. He seems to be like a homeless guy who walks around a lot.
Okay.
But he's casted as an extra in so many movies in New York, and like
Okay.
on SVU and so many things. We have a friend who does lighting for SNL and for Law and Order, and he's just a regular background actor. Whether he's like, if you see a lot of Batman movies, he'll just kind of be a guy that's like, they usually have those scenes where they're on the steps.
Yeah.
He'll be in that, or he'll like walk by. He used to always have a radio,
Okay.
like in the 80s and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's just been known as this guy. I don't think he doesn't get paid. He just really
What?
enjoys making these little cameos.
He's just like, he's not SAG or anything. He's
No.
just around.
I mean, he could have SAG.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to say, I wonder if in the credits Radio Man is Radio Man. I never
Yeah.
thought I recognized him in the movie. And I'm like, holy shit, he's Radio Man. I've seen a lot about it. Like, actors will take selfies with him on set and then post it. That's how I found out about him. Like, oh, yeah, Radio Man. And then our friend who works on the sets actually took a picture and posted it. And I was like, who is this guy? Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So it's really cool.
Wow.
That's why I like...
Good for him.
That's why I really appreciate Adam Sandler in his movies. Is like he has his friends and he has his community, his little entourage that he takes care of.
Yeah.
So other than Kevin James, I can't stand Kevin James. He's so cheesy and he tries too hard.
He's so cringy.
People that like Kevin James like Jeff Dunham. People who like Kevin James, their favorite comic is Jeff Dunham. I guarantee.
Oh my God. Yes, I have a person in my head who I'm thinking of right now. Oof. That's
what my mom would always do. Like we come back for holidays, we'd come in and she'd be like, "Hey guys, the new Jeff Dunham special came out." And like, so we have to watch it. And then she's like, you know, when you watch movies with your friends and you're like making sure,
and you're like making sure.
That's what she does. And then so for Christmas, we all get the DVD because we're fake laughing. We're like, haha, cool.
Oh my God.
I've never donated something so fast in my life.
That's so funny. I bet there are a lot. If you go to a thrift store, you're gonna find a lot of
Jeff Dunham puppets.
Puppets, DVDs.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's so painful. They're like the kind of people who like DVR King of Queens.
Yeah. That's one of those shows where if you're like taking a nap midday and it shows up, you're like
ugh.
Like that and like the George Lopez song. You're like, oh yeah, he loops it a lot, but then like as soon as that hits, like who the hell watches this show? I don't know. I'm a Kevin James. I used to manage the big comedy club here in Denver. And Kevin James is like a secret drop in like a Monday night. Yeah. And I purposely took that Monday off. I'm like, I'm good. Everyone's like, you sure? I'm like,
you're like, yeah, I don't.
He doesn't do stand up. Like I saw Val Kilmer do stand up. He didn't really do stand up. He did a one man show.
Whoa.
Like probably a year before he got cancer in his throat. So he was trying to do like, he knew he had cancer. So he was trying to do like his bucket list of stuff. The movie Val. Oh my God, watch it. It's incredible. Okay. His son narrates it, and his son sounds just like him. So
that's so wild.
It made me cry. It's amazing. But back to it is like Kevin James came, and I just didn't want any part of it. No. And I am thankful Kevin James was not in this movie.
This movie was so close to having Kevin James in it.
Really?
And it didn't.
Oh yeah. I guarantee.
That's what it feels.
He could have played like nowadays if they remade the movie, he would have played the devil. Of course. He would have played some character that's like, ugh. He's one of those guys where I'll change the channel as soon as I see him. Yeah. I've never seen Hitch. Okay. Because I can't stand Kevin James.
Hitch is fun. Hitch is a good movie.
I can't do Kevin James.
I'm sorry. I know that you can't do Kevin James.
Have you done it on the show?
Yeah, I have. I love that movie.
I'll listen to that.
I'm sorry. It's a fun movie.
That came out when I was young too, like maybe 13 or 14. I still, since I was a kid, I can't do Kevin James. He just annoys me.
I mean, here's the thing. Hitch is not like... It's not good like with a capital G, but it's good for like what it is. Yeah. It really fulfills the assignment of what it is. Yeah. But you would be if you don't like Kevin James at all, if you're like I see him, I change the channel, then you're gonna hate Hitch. So I don't know, but maybe you should see it. We should all challenge ourselves, shouldn't we?
Even grown-ups. People will say that's Adam Sandler's best movies.
That's so sad. Thinking about like what is Adam Sandler's best movie, like that's really sad because there's like no good answer really.
I mean, people will say Click. Click is
horrible. When I saw Click, I was young and I was stupid and I didn't have like taste. Yeah. And even then, I remember seeing it and saying the essence of weak storytelling is to say it was all a dream. Mm-hmm. That was the first time I saw that, and I was like, that is the weakest storytelling trope I've ever seen, and I fucking hate this movie. Sorry to spoil Click for you all, but it was all just a dream.
Yep. Yeah, what a waste of some people that were in that movie.
I know. Quentin Tarantino in this movie, being the blind guy outside.
I remember being a kid being like, I know that guy from somewhere. And then when I was watching the movie, I'm like, oh, Quentin Tarantino, I know exactly who that guy is. Yeah. That's who would have freaked me out as a kid.
Totally.
If I was younger. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's very New York-y too. Every time I'm in New York, we have that on the subway and
totally.
But yeah, that's crazy. That was a crazy casting because he has no ties to he doesn't have any ties to that brand of Happy Gilmore.
How much did they pay him is what I want to know. Like, was it that he just like didn't have anything else to do? I mean, it was 2000. Quentin Tarantino was busy.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
don't know.
there's a lot. I mean, even Sinead O'Connor was in that. And
Oh
that's
my
nuts.
God. The fact that she was the love interest,
That's crazy.
dude,
I mean,
that was
I
crazy.
think, I mean, who else did I write in here that was in here? I mean, John Lovitz,
Yeah, of
um,
course, as the peeping Tom.
he's such a right winger to me, that's a very right winger thing to do, I guess. Um, Rodney Dangerfield, I think that was
Oh
one of
yeah.
Rodney's last movies, I want to say.
Oh sad.
God, he was the best. I loved him as a
Yeah.
kid. He kind of got me into comedy, and
Oh really?
yeah, I mean, I think comedy has changed so much that that back then is very hacky.
Yeah. Oh,
But
Henry Winkler and the Bees.
yes, dude,
Yep.
Henry Winkler.
Yeah.
Like there were just like these little things that made me respect the movie. Of like they knew that they acknowledged that was Henry Winkler
Yeah.
himself versus like a dumb character. Like they
Right.
could have put him as a Chinese guy. That's a
Right.
very Happy Madison movie. Like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so, and Rob Schneider too. He's a right winger that kind of ruins
Yeah.
my opinion a lot.
Oh my gosh. Remember when the roommate is like, "Damn you, Kevin Spacey, you take all my parts."
Yeah.
Crazy. They could have had Kevin Spacey in there. Good thing they didn't.
And the guy who was saying the Kevin Spacey thing,
Yeah.
the roommate of what his character is,
Yeah.
it's like, wow, maybe that was like an underground, because a lot of people will mention things about people.
Yeah, totally.
And when things happen, you're like, wow.
Yeah.
It's like, because his roommate was kind of a creepy,
Yeah.
closeted guy.
Yeah.
And that kind of seems to be what happened with Kevin Spacey.
Right.
I watched that and I rewound it. I'm like, did he say Kevin Spacey? Really? I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't wait to talk about this part.
Yeah. Yeah, that was wild. I think the whole roommate thing and the cross-dresser are the things that I think stand out to me as like aging the worst. Like the roommate, just like all of the gay jokes being like, Liberace,
Yeah.
cut it out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you fuck men.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that kind of thing. And also, I think that the fact that his sexuality is tied to being creepy in sort of a way that, like, I think people would talk about Kevin Spacey, unfortunately. Like, yeah, he's a bad guy because he's a pedo, not because he's gay.
Mhm.
But, like, the roommate was also kind of positioned as like, oh, he's a creepy dude, and
Like
him being gay
like
was
a
like a
s-
big part of that.
There was, it seemed like there was more something about him, but
Yeah.
it seemed like they tried to aim that it was because he was closeted.
Right.
But it's like, this guy could be the Scranton Strangler. You know what I mean?
Totally. And then also, of course, there's the scene where Nicky goes to Sinead O'Connor's apartment and instead finds this guy who is just like acting kind of like creepy in general.
Oh no,
And-
you're thinking of so Sinead O'Connor is the singer. She wasn't the love interest. The love interest.
Wait, what's her name again?
the love
Patricia
interest
Arquette.
was Patricia Arquette. Yeah.
Patricia
Yeah.
Arquette. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So Nicky goes to Patricia Arquette's house.
Yeah.
And he goes up to this window and he sees this guy dressed up in like women's clothing, and he's like, I mean, this is a man who's from hell. He's seen his dad make someone's head into boobs. You know, he's seen some crazy shit before. And he's like, whoa, what the fuck am I looking at? And then they keep on like coming back to that character as like I mean, as a punchline, of course, but as like a whoa, this shit is fucked up kind of thing. And that, I mean, I don't know. I think again it was like there were other things about him that were creepy, but it was like conflated as this like, oh, he's creepy because he dresses like a woman. And
Yeah.
that's like an inherent part of his creepiness.
It's like,
you know?
it's very broy dumb humor
Yes.
of like, it's very plain sided. This is why it's funny because he's a cross dresser. Like,
Yeah.
no.
Literally at the end when they're like doing the where are they now, and they just say this guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Like
Mhm.
that's so lazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's what I think Adam Sandler's movies are, very late. Nothing is genius.
No.
Nothing is genius. I honestly don't like golf, partly because of how fantasized Happy Gilmore movie is with golfing kids.
Yeah.
I hated going golfing with my friends because they always got to do the
I'd
Happy
be like,
Gilmore
they got to
thing.
do the Happy
They
Gilmore.
quote the movie and like, it's a really weird reason to hate golf, but like part of it is I hate the movie.
Yeah.
If it's on, I switch it to The Goonies.
Yeah.
That daytime movie.
Totally.
I got to put on during work. Like it's anything but.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Ugh. Yikes. So like for instance, here's an example I wrote in my notes here. A lazy joke. The dog is outside of the apartment and there's a mat that says, "I heart acting." And he says, "You love acting. I love pissing." That's the whole joke.
Yeah.
The whole joke is, "I love pissing." No, that's it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a few of those in the movie where, I mean, going back to every Adam Sandler movie, there's those jokes that are like, what was that?
What was that?
Like you couldn't think of something.
No.
I don't know. I mean, even Adam Sandler's stand-up to me is just. I mean, I never watched the stuff back in the day, and I should watch it. I mean, I do respect Adam, but I mean, I saw him live do a stand-up, and it was not good.
Oh, really?
And I flew all the way to San Diego to go with my friends because he's a big Adam Sandler fan. So I got tickets, and I just kind of yawned and like fake laughed, and a lot of that like musical humor.
Yeah.
I'm just not into that stuff.
Yeah.
And the songs are very hacky and bro-y humor still. I mean, he's sticking to his brand. Well, you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
More power to him for that. But I feel validated growing up and be like, it's still not funny to me. And it's cool knowing like back as a kid, it wasn't funny. You know what I mean?
Totally. I feel torn.
God, he's gonna watch this. He's gonna listen to this one podcast.
I know. And he's got his Google alerts on, and he's ready.
He's gonna show up in his size XXX shorts and his hoodie. And
say, "I'd like to speak to the owner of Dude IDK Studios,"
and then buy me out for $20 million, and then make that budget into a really horrible movie. And
yep, but you know what? We'll all be on vacation.
I've complained about his movies before, and I remember I've always wanted to make movies.
Yeah.
And I remember my mom, of all people, was it my mom or was it someone that I least expected was like, "Well, what movies have you made?" And I was like. Touche.
Mom, fucking savage.
More power to you. I'm like, man, I want to say it was my mom, but man, I hope she wasn't that mean.
Yeah. God.
It was back in the day when I was hating on one of his movies. Maybe I was watching. Wow. Yeah, I don't know.
Was that what planted the seed for you wanting to make films? You said, "I'll show Adam Sandler."
I will say, yeah, Adam Sandler's played a big role in like my idea to want to play movies because I want to have that entourage.
Yeah.
But it also proves that if he can do it, I think a lot of people can. And man, I hope this doesn't come back to bite me in the ass and I'm a dickhead and this and that. But like, I think there are some like, there's just dumb humor. It's just kind of.
Yeah. It's not for me. Like the thing is, I do think that he is a talented stand-up comic. But it's also not for me.
Yeah.
I think in general, Adam Sandler is just not for me. Like, these movies were not made for me.
Yeah.
Like, this type of humor wasn't made for girls. It wasn't made for women.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as you see a Happy Madison, like their screen pop up, their intro promo thing before a movie, you know it's like, oh, yeah, this is going to be a bro-y guy. I've never seen a Happy Madison female-led movie or like a female movie, like a women-led. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't.
There probably will never be one. You know, okay, all right.
And his wife, did you know his wife's in the movie?
What? Who's she?
So she was one of the angels.
Okay, we need to talk about the angels.
Yeah.
So, okay. I thought it was so gross that Reese, first of all, he gets to heaven, and of course the angels are all like hot babes, you know?
Yeah.
And Reese Witherspoon, who is Adam Sandler's peer, probably younger than him, is his mother. But in heaven, you don't age. Like, angels don't age. And also, his father is much older than his mom. I just thought it was just like fucking gross that his mom was like young and hot, and when he was calling her mommy and stuff like that, I was like, this is just kind of ick.
Yeah, I definitely had that run across my mind of like, even as a kid,
Yeah.
it was like, okay, is it because he's old and she's young, and that's why he's the devil because that's evil? And like,
Right.
I feel like smart writing makes it that way,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like with Adam Sandler's movies, if someone said that, like, hey, did you mean to do that? He could be like, yeah, totally.
Yeah,
I
but of
definitely
course,
meant that.
no.
But I don't think so.
No, I literally think that they were like, well, we should have hot people do this, right?
Yeah.
And of course, they don't think older women are hot. So they're like, well, let's have Reese Witherspoon do it because she's hot. And my wife, because she's hot.
Yeah. My friends who love these movies would be like, dude, you're such a downer. That's exactly
Dude,
how they
you're
talk.
such a bummer.
Just cracking open a Monster Energy and be like, bro, what the fuck, man? What are you doing, dude? I thought you fucking love those movies, man.
Yeah.
Like,
okay, one thing that was really funny, though, was the recurring bit of getting hit by buses and trains.
yeah, and
Okay,
going back to hell.
Okay, that was funny.
And that is like
that
still
was actually
broy
funny.
humor.
I actually laughed at those parts. I
Yeah.
was like, okay, that's funny.
I was very surprised at stuff that I still found humorous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like watching kids fall. Like, I'm gonna fall down a YouTube rabbit hole one night on an edible and laugh.
Yeah.
But
Duh.
that's how little Nicky is. Like, I have to do an edible and then I'm gonna laugh and it's gonna be funny at times.
Yeah.
And then there's times where I'm gonna overthink it and be like, should I be laughing, or shouldn't I be laughing? And I end up overthinking the entire movie.
Yeah.
And rather than dumbing it down,
Right.
which you have to do for those movies, I feel like I just don't want to.
It's because it's such a half-baked screenplay that it makes it almost like challenging to break it down, because if you pull too many threads, the entire thing falls apart.
Yeah.
Even just plot-wise, like, what the fuck happened in this movie? The end is so sloppy. I didn't even realize till halfway through the movie that his dad dying was like a part of the whole deal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there were just so many parts that I was like, why is this here? Or like, why does this person just so readily believe someone when they say this? Like, I don't know. It just all felt really messy.
Yeah, it definitely felt like, I mean, that's where I go back to Chris Farley passed away and I heard he was a big part of it. Was like, okay, were they trying to get something out to, I think that their favorite part of the movie that they couldn't wait to do was the end credit scene, the Chris Farley thing.
Yeah.
I think that's when they're like, okay, that was cool. But I mean, I don't know. The movie sucks, of course. But I mean, a part of me was like, he's in heaven now. If he's an angel, whatever.
Right.
Why is his face not fixed?
Right.
Like I thought that as a kid.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, okay, this is weird. I mean, like his voice could have changed to normal. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, there's just stuff that they overdid and underdid where it's like, could they have met in the middle with some stuff?
Right. They didn't really.
What's the point of the shovel face thing and making it such a huge point of the movie?
Yeah.
If it wasn't for, like, I don't know.
And we didn't even see him get hit with a shovel.
Yeah.
That's the thing too. It's like, okay, well, at least show us getting hit. Show us him getting hit in the face with a shovel.
And the one thing I definitely like, as a person who's ran sound for stuff before, the idea of it, the entire movie bothers me, where everyone's like sounds great vocally, but then he's just like talking like this.
Oh my god.
And it's hard for the boom to, like, I feel like they had, I don't know.
Oh god. He's just been a nightmare.
I feel like their audio guy had a nightmare trying to, and that's just such a nerdy film thing to talk about. But I feel like he's just so much quieter.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like if you're from hell or something like that, it should be
loud.
You should have the Bulldog's voice.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you should have like an obnoxious voice, not one that's like really like meek and also out of just one side of your face. Mm-hmm. Unless you have cerebral palsy, in which case talk however you talk.
And do
but
whatever.
But if you don't have cerebral palsy, don't do that.
Talk your talk and walk your walk.
Just do what you do.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, Regis Phillips is in this.
Yeah, Regis Philbin. Was that when it was Regis and Kathy Lee still?
Yeah. And he's like, oh yeah, I found this guy and beat the shit out of him with a baseball bat. Okay, also, are people being possessed, or are they being influenced to be like heathens?
They're being possessed.
Okay.
So like the brothers are entering these people.
That was so annoying to me because I really wanted them to start like a movement. You know, they were like, we're going to go to Earth and we're going to go corrupt some souls. But then all they did was just like fuck around and possess people.
Well, that's what they were trying to do.
Right.
They were trying to like build an army to turn it into hell. Like they were trying to like, that's what the goal of the main, like the brothers were.
Yeah, then it's like, why didn't they do that? Why didn't they just do that in this movie?
I think that's what they were trying to do, but Nicky was stopping them. It just comes down to the bad writing. It seemed like a lot of things were hurried.
Yeah.
They didn't do enough. Like I think they're like, we just do a fight scene to kind of decide.
Right.
But it's like,
they're like, we'll do a fight scene and we'll have some little people in there because LOL, that's so funny.
I know that was such like 90s humor.
Yeah.
I mean, I guarantee this movie was written in 97, 98. He could have written it forever. Like it's the movie he probably wrote in college, and they decided, "Fuck, we got the funding."
And he's like, "Well, I have $80 million now, so I guess we'll make it."
They can't. We have our own studio. They can't say no.
Right.
So.
Oh God. Sometimes I think people just need to be told, "No.
Yeah.
You can't make that."
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
I mean, I think that's what the box office resonates to. Is like, yeah, we're not doing that again, but he keeps doing it. Well, now that there's Netflix, Netflix is like, yeah, I'll do whatever.
Yeah, literally, they're like,
what is it, Hubert? What is it? The Halloween one he just came out with a couple years ago.
Oh God,
the Hubert's Halloween or something.
Yeah. What was it even about?
I gotta find the name of it.
Okay, yeah, look it up.
But I watched it and I didn't know. I was like, what the hell was this? Netflix approved of this?
Netflix
it's
will
because
approve
of the Adam
of
Sandler
anything.
name. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is so annoying because then it's like you try and get anything made. It's okay. It's impossible to get anything made. And that is true. And I also see on Netflix everything being made. And I'm like, how does this happen?
It's almost like they're trying to Hubie's Halloween. Hubie Halloween.
Okay.
Not even plural.
Okay.
But it's almost like they're just trying to become the studio.
Right.
Like the only studio by just taking everything.
Yeah.
Like I'm seeing that with Netflix's Joke Festival right now.
Oh, yeah.
There are a lot of comics who and things that are on there that's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
This person's been doing comedy for or they shouldn't be up there, but they're just like, we need this, we need that, we got to have everything. Oh, you have a limp? Let's start a limping Netflix thing. It's like they're trying to really, is desensitizing everything. They're trying to overtake, I think, every movie studio. Yeah. From what they did to like the box office. Mm-hmm. And it's ruining everything. Even Hubie, the face he makes in the movie. Yeah. I feel like he doesn't know how to act, so he has to do like a goofy face. Exactly. But the goofy face is literally just like, either like talking out of one side of his mouth or being like, Yes. I mean, Hubie Halloween has a 5.2 out of 10. What? Let's see what little Nicky has. I think it's low. 5.3 out of 10. You gotta be fucking kidding 55% me. Rotten Tomatoes. I think the nostalgia. Audience score? I think it's more of a nostalgia. Yeah. For people to be like, okay, this has stuff I can laugh at in private type stuff, which is, I don't know. Yeah. It has the Twin Towers in the background, so maybe that's something. Maybe. I know they came out with a video game. Little Nicky had a little game? Yeah, it came out with a Game Boy game. No way. Yeah. What? Did you play it? I played it on a friend's Game Boy, the friend who loved Adam Sandler stuff. We played it like during the lunch break, and he got his Game Boy taken away because of it. Uh-oh. Man, this kid is getting in a lot of trouble because of Adam Sandler stuff. But he's a doctor now, so I don't know. Oh my God. He probably has like a Hubie Halloween poster hanging up in his... And it's framed because people with good jobs they don't just have posters, they frame them. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I love Adam. I mean, I think Mr. Deeds was a fun movie. I do think Mr. Deeds was good. Yeah. But man, some of these movies are so hacky and lazy, but I acknowledge what he's done with being able to do with something. Yeah. It's almost like he's taking the dumbest idea, doing it to prove to people he can do it. And that's where I'm like, okay, maybe that's why I respect him. But at the same time, I guess now I'm going to backtrack a little bit on what I said earlier about how I respect that he always says yes to jobs and like he just makes stuff and he doesn't have like
he doesn't have a lot of pride, obviously. He's not trying to make capital F films. But I think that when you have your own production studio, when you get to a point when you are Adam Sandler, no one's going to tell you no, so you can just make bad stuff.
Yeah.
And that is also kind of annoying. It's like, I wonder if he thinks, does Adam Sandler think his movies are good?
I don't think so. That's what I always wonder. Every time I see an Adam Sandler movie, I do think he loved Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's why he got. I think it seemed like he genuinely cared more when he was doing Uncut Gems.
Yeah.
He seemed to like take more pride in that. Like I remember when he wasn't nominated for an Oscar, and like
he took that personally.
And that's cool. That's what I think you should want to be. But also, I hate the art world. Like I've worked on sets with people that are just the most annoying little brats, and like they're very like they're not fun to be around, and they're snappy and this and that. But I think that's why I appreciate him is he's making whatever he wants.
Yeah.
And who cares? Even if it's like a joke on all of us, it's a joke on all of us. But I think even if he does love it, even more power to him because. But I've seen him laugh. I've seen those. What movie was it? Where he like watched his screening, like where they're editing and stuff like that. They're like watching the edit, and like he's laughing, and they're all like laughing together. Like him and his like Happy Madison people and like whatever. They're laughing, and I think they love the fart joke. I think that they genuinely enjoy the fart joke.
Wow.
And, I mean,
don't get me wrong. I like stuff that's dumb.
Yeah.
I like smart, dumb humor. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like stuff that's dumb that has a little bit of thought behind it, but it's still stupid.
Yeah.
You know?
I think the movie was at the heart of the transition of, like, 90s, like, people making fun of gay to where I think the early 2000s people stopped caring as, like, the boy band phase and, like, like the pop phase was really hitting.
Yeah.
And I think that brought more people out type thing, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But... yeah, I don't know. I think the movie it should have come out 10 years earlier.
Yes, I agree. If this would have come out in probably 93, I think it would have done a lot better.
Throw John Candy in there somewhere.
Oh, yeah. You kidding me?
Yeah, like that would make more sense. But I think the 2000s were just such a horrible year for movies. I don't know if I can name a movie from the 2000 that I liked.
I'm going to look up.
Like top 2000 movies?
Yeah. Top movies of the year 2000.
It's gonna be like some Nick Cage movie or something.
Requiem for a Dream.
Oh, really? That was 2000?
Yeah, that was 2000. Oh, shit. Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou came out in 2000. We just talked about that a few weeks ago.
2000?
That was the year 2000.
Wow.
It really feels like a 99 movie, though.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. The Patriot, Dangerous Attraction, Memento, Emperor's New Groove. All right. Dude, Where's My Car? Oh, Castaway.
Unbreakable, The Perfect Storm, Ready to Rumble. Oh, that was funny. That was definitely the heart of like Road Trip and American Pie.
Yeah.
And like American Psycho came out in 2000.
Oh.
Scary Movie came out in 2000.
Oh,
I feel like there's a huge shift in really dumb stoner comedy, dumb bro movies, but Gone in 60 Seconds, exactly. That was I annoyingly love that movie. Traffic, Snatch.
Oh yeah.
I hate The Legend of Bagger Vance.
Oh.
Castaway. I think you named Castaway already.
Yeah.
Pay It Forward. That was a huge movie.
Oh,
I think it was Battlefield Earth that was voted as like the worst movie of that year.
Yeah, it won. What's the name of that?
Wow, 2.5 on
the Raspberry Awards. Is that the
something like that?
Yeah, I think that movie narrowly beat Little Nicky for a lot of different categories.
3% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Holy shit.
Final Destination, Me, Myself, and Irene, The Replacements. I mean, there's a lot of movies from that year, like we said, Memento, that I loved. Like Family Man is a fun Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Almost Famous. God, there are a lot of...
that was in the year 2000?
Aaron Brockovich, Chicken Run.
Chicken Run?
I watched that recently on a road trip. Just
no way.
Like, they're just... 2000 was a good year for movies, so...
I don't know. I think that 2000, on the whole, it was a bad year for movies. There are a few good movies, but overall, really bad year for movies.
I mean, I couldn't name one movie. Now I'm realizing, holy shit, those come out in 2000. So many of them, I would have bet 99 or lower, like the year. But
yeah. Anyway.
Damn.
Well, this movie, it was bad and it didn't age that well.
The boobs in the head with like the monkey thing.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that aged well was Hitler getting the pineapple shoved up his ass.
That's right. Yeah. And the recurring bit of getting hit by buses and trains and going back to hell.
Yeah. That was your fart joke for the movie.
Yeah.
The recurring.
That was my fart joke, yeah.
People who love that movie watched it eating popcorn with their mouth like,
oh,
you know what I mean? Like that's the movie. If all like I would love to watch these movies and like see if they actually thoroughly enjoy this, you know what I mean?
Right.
I just want to like so I can judge people and unfriend them.
Absolutely.
For
Unfollow.
Sure. Man, I feel like such a hater right now.
I know. We started this podcast off talking about how nice we are. Look at us.
It was either this. It was either this or the Chimo from Nickelodeon. So.
Oh my god! I also in the beginning of this movie with the peeping Tom.
Yeah.
He's saying to himself, but to the woman in the window, "I wish you'd let me rub those feet. Of course, I wouldn't use my hands, haha." And I wrote to myself, I thought we weren't talking about the Dan Schneider of it all.
Yeah.
It's like, man, in the first 2 minutes of this movie, we already got weird foot stuff.
Well, I have worked with him before, and he's actually a really nice guy.
Really?
John Lovitz, but he's also a Republican. I'm starting a podcast called "Do They Age Well?" and it's going to be about politicians.
It's just gonna be about people we know and people we don't.
It's like it depends on if they're. I mean, they're all old. It's
you
like
know what
kind
we
of age
should
well.
do is we should have a podcast where we go through all the people who we knew in elementary school and we talk about how they aged and if they aged well. You know, like your
find
friend.
them, find them and see where they're at.
Like your friend who loved Adam Sandler movies and got in trouble at least twice.
Yeah.
Who now is a doctor.
That's
it's like, oh, so I guess he aged well.
That's what's.
I mean, not there are people who are doctors that are like bad people and stuff and are still stupid, but
yeah,
it seems like he's doing fine.
He was a fun, smart kid, but he wasn't like, I don't know. I never thought the fart jokes were humorous. There got to be more to it, you know?
Yeah.
But if you know how to make that movie and you like, more power to you.
Yeah.
And you get Netflix deals, more power to you. I love Adam Sandler. Yeah. I do love him. I just don't know why.
Yeah.
His bulldog. Bulldogs.
Probably. Yeah.
And he's really good at basketball.
Yeah, I have heard that actually.
His style. He uses style.
Yeah.
He dresses up like he just woke up. And he's like COVID.
Okay. Completely. I do love when people reach, and I think that he's actually always been like this, but he has the aesthetic of like the rich person who's so rich that they dress like shit. But I think that he's always dressed like that, but then like his money caught up with him to the level where it seems like that's what's happening and not just that he's always dressed like that.
He's the anti-establishment of like, there's the George Clooney with him, there's the Adam Sandler type thing. Like they've probably both made the same amount of money.
Yeah.
But like, I'd rather relate to Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'd rather hang out with Adam Sandler than George Clooney.
I went to a benefit one time purposely in gym shorts because, and it was encouraged. The dress code was encouraged.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, they're not blatantly saying you have to wear that.
Right.
They're going to let me in no matter what.
Yeah.
I'm a sponsor on the event. I'm showing up, dude.
Obviously.
And it was like, he was fine, but I'm like, I'm gonna wear shorts. Who cares? Like people are dressed up and whatever, but I love breaking rules, and I love that he breaks the rule.
Yeah.
He had a joke. I remember a stand up when he was singing a song about it, and he does a song about he hates his photo getting taken. So he purposely dresses a certain way sometimes because he just kind of thinks it's funny. He loves opening up a magazine and seeing him wearing something.
Yeah, totally.
And so all these photos are people taking selfies, like walking in front of him, and he's just like, But then there's photos where he's like that, and it's just,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
And he like part of the line, I forget the song. Obviously, I wasn't paying that much attention, but was like everyone's dressed nicer than me part,
Yeah.
and it was maybe he said that after his song. He's like, clearly everyone dresses better than me, and everyone here dresses better than me. And he's wearing like a sweatshirt with his hoodie up,
Yeah.
and he was wearing sunglasses. I'm like, that's fucking fun. Like he didn't care.
Yeah.
I admire him a lot more than I admire his movies. That's for sure.
Yeah. He seems to have figured out, I don't know, like, I hate to say this because I hate giving men credit this way, but he seems to have
Yeah.
he seems to have hacked Hollywood.
Yeah.
He has figured out how to do the damn thing
Yeah.
and not have to like work that hard probably.
I use him as an example one time is like Barbie, the director of Barbie. Barbie to me is a brilliant movie.
Yeah.
I think it was done really well, and I hate when trailers reveal too much, but Barbie didn't reveal anything where it's like, what the fuck could this movie be about?
Yeah.
And there was more controversy and there was more talk about her as a director, either whether it was being nominated or the movie not being good, and it seemed to be like everything seemed to be two-sided now, and that's what it was. Whereas like no one really has that opinion about Adam Sandler, and I don't think that's fair.
Yeah.
You,
It's
like-
not fair that like men can just make a movie and it isn't like politicized in some way. But like when a woman does a thing, it's like, well, what does it mean? You know?
They're like Theo Vaughn fans.
Yeah.
Like, why are they laughing? Do they even know why they're laughing?
Right.
I mean, I admire Adam Sandler. I don't know why. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't have any of his movies in my top 100,
No.
200.
No.
I lied. 50 First Dates. I'll always go back to that. I love that movie, dude.
I do too.
I love that movie so much.
When I saw that movie, I think it was movies like that that made me really afraid of getting amnesia. Like there are so many movies where someone gets amnesia and that's how the entire plot comes together, and I was young and impressionable enough that I was like, one day I'm just going to get amnesia.
Yeah. I mean, man, that could happen.
Can happen.
I mean, I was reading a story the other day that was like, they had to describe what was happening, and they used 50 First Dates as a reference
That's so funny.
to go around all the political jargon that was being said. And it was like, oh, okay, I get it now.
You're like, I get it now.
Yeah.
It's like how Groundhog Day has become like, it's almost like a verb, like getting Groundhog Dayed, you know?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I say that all the time. People don't
Yeah.
get it. I'm like, you haven't seen the movie.
Yeah.
I say it a lot to where sometimes I'll get a look where I'm like, am I using that term correctly?
No, I think you are.
And I think I
probably.
am because I looked it up and people are like, yeah, that's, or something happened really weirdly within that week where they mentioned that and they used the movie as a reference verbally by saying, we know the movie Groundhog Day. That's why we say Groundhog Day. And I'm like,
What?
the fuck? This just
What
happened
the
the last week to me. So I'm glad I use it all the time. I use it way more than I should now.
Yeah.
I'll wake up, I'm like, saying deja vu. Is this Groundhog Day? You know what I mean? Like,
Good thing I already sent my DVR to watch King of Queens
yeah.
later.
Fuck. Could you imagine? You're an extra on the set of King of Queens. You're like,
I
mean,
but
that-
Leah Remini, we love the work you're doing with Scientology.
yeah.
Against Scientology.
We're gonna
rather.
bleep the word Scientology, or else they're gonna.
Honestly, they've got their. You think Adam Sandler's watching the Scientology? They just have Google alerts going.
The next episode we're on together, we're just gonna be dressed as like Scientologists. Like, welcome back.
We're gonna get really into real estate all of a
Yes.
sudden. Yeah.
Oh my
Oh
god.
boy. All right, Nick, I want to close out this episode with a little game called Cancel or Callback. And this is, of course, where listeners send us trends from the past for us to discuss if they should be canceled or called back. Nick, do you think we need to cancel or call back cargo pants?
I mean, look how I dress. I walked into a diner today and my bulge was hanging out, and I was like, fuck. I'm gonna say cancel.
Okay.
But if they have the knee zips, bring that shit back,
Yeah.
dude. Bring that shit back.
There's nothing like being able to go. It's like, you know, a real like day to night kind of look when you've got the zips on the cargo pants.
I do think when women wear cargo pants, it looks cool.
It is cool as fuck when women wear cargo
Not
pants.
guys.
The bigger the cargo pant, the cooler the girl.
Yeah.
For sure.
And if a guy wears it, they're on some list somewhere.
They're
and
on a list.
The entire neighborhood knows.
100%.
So, yeah. I mean, women, men, no.
If you're like a cool 90s hip-hop chick or you're like Billie Eilish or something, yeah, cargo pants.
Yeah.
Keep it going. And also, women, we don't really have the luxury of having like solid pockets in most of our pants.
Yeah.
And so I think that we're not going to get equality until we can wear big-ass pants with big-ass pockets.
Yeah. Cargo pants are the Drake of fashion. Just get rid of it. No one wants it. The ones who want it, like I said, they're on the list somewhere, just like Drake probably is.
Yeah.
But people who wear cargo pants liked Millie Bobby Brown when she was 14.
Oh,
that's what I compare cargo pants to.
That's so true. And that's Drake, actually.
That's Drake, yeah.
Whew. I heard someone say that Drake is like, he's like everything that's good and bad about our generation, like of millennials. He's like the best and the worst. Like that's why he's so insufferable, because he's like the things that we like don't like about ourselves.
Huh. Oh, I mean...
You say I don't accept that.
I don't accept anything good about Drake. I can't stand him.
Have you always been a Drake, like, not for me kind of guy? Or did you have a falling out? Do you have beef?
I think he just got really cheesy and was trying too hard.
Yeah.
And I've heard stories from people about his dad.
Yeah.
And from very prominent sources.
Sure.
That's like, why would anyone think his dad's cool?
Yeah.
And like, I don't think the apple falls too far from the tree, especially if they're that involved with their life and their career.
Yeah.
That I just think he's so cheesy. He tries too hard to be all like, look at old pictures of Drake. That's like the Young Money Drake. I appreciate. I think he's cool. Like he's on LeBron's movie or whatever came out about LeBron.
Yeah.
But new Drake is like cornrow and saying the N-word too much, and just like Kendrick Lamar said, he's like, what do you, I mean, recently he's like, I don't even think you should be saying the N-word. Yeah. He's like, yeah, dude. He kind of. Honestly. He makes my Mexican friends think they can say the N-word. You know what I mean? He makes my Armenian friends think they can say the N-word. Like, Drake, chill. You're trying too hard.
He is really cheesy. I used to be a pretty big Drake fan up until maybe like, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago or so. I used to think that he was like a really good R&B, like pop R&B.
Yeah.
I think when he tries too hard to lean into like, no guys, I am a rapper. It's like, it's okay.
Yeah.
That you're not.
Yeah.
Really. Like, it's okay.
It's almost like he tries too hard to stay relevant.
Mm-hmm.
In really annoying ways, like rap beefs. Do you need to like be doing any of that, dude? Like, you're not even a rap. You're just You should have a beef with Ryan Seacrest. Yeah, he's the Ryan Seacrest of rap. Oh man, Drake, if you are watching this, Adam Sandler, I'm sorry, dude. I respect you. Drake, you're watching this. I want to be with you, dog. Get those fucking eyebrows in the studio. Oh.
When I think of Drake, I think of TikTok dances, and I think that's really sad.
Jason Derulo and Drake, if Celebrity Deathmatch was still a TV show,
that would be.
They would fight.
Oh my god.
To the death.
Jason Derulo would win.
They would fight in TikTok dances, and the winner would be 14-year-olds for sure. For sure. Not accusing Jason Derulo of anything.
No, Jason Derulo, you're probably okay.
There's another point I was gonna make about Drake. I forget what I was gonna say, but it's probably too mean, honestly. It's probably too mean, so we should. If it comes back to me, I'll probably blurt it out. But
no. Think about it. It's okay. We were talking about how he's
cancel or bring back. No, Drake, you're canceled, dog. Just leave. Sorry. Oh, it was during the NBA All-Star game.
Okay.
It was Kobe's last All-Star game. I'm a big Kobe Bryant guy.
Okay.
Idol growing up, loved him. Yep. It was his last All-Star game, and LeBron James is kind of taking over the reins of the league, and they're going 1-1 during the game. And Kobe's kind of been hurt all year, so he's only playing like a few minutes this game. Mm-hmm. They're going 1-1, and then Drake is front row, and he gets up, and he ruins the photo should be Kobe and LeBron,
Yeah.
But instead, Drake is like on the court.
Oh, I know the one. I know the photo.
Look up the photo. That photo pisses me off. Drake, like that is the character Drake is. He's
Yeah.
like if it's your birthday party, Drake will try to
Yeah.
hijack it.
He's absolutely the kind of person that shows up to your birthday party and it's his party now.
It's his party now.
Oh my God. What kind of movies do you think that Drake likes?
Oh man, like Step Up 3.
I think that he tells people that his favorite movies are like really, like film school type movies, but he like hasn't seen them before.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He's the type of person who says, "Oh, what's that movie?" He's the type of person who says he will love come back. Oh man, let me see what this is.
Okay.
He will say his favorite movie is American Beauty, but it's really American Pie.
It's really American Pie.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
100%.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love how this conversation is completely shifted to like
I know.
anti-Drake. I hate Drake.
Yeah.
I think Jacob likes Drake.
You needed this, I think.
Yeah.
You needed to get it out.
I think Jacob likes Drake, and then a comic the other day came in trashing Drake because his whole beef with Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna ask him tomorrow if he actually likes Drake.
Yeah, ask him what he really thinks. Because honestly, like, I mean, Drake has been famous for so long.
Yeah.
And for most of the time that Drake has been famous, I have been a Drake fan. Like if you think about like the trajectory of his career.
Yeah.
Because I only really kind of fell off with Drake maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. I mean, that still leaves. I was into Drake for like 10 years.
Were you Degrassi? Is Degrassi or Degrassi?
Degrassi. I watched Degrassi, but I wasn't like, oh my gosh, that guy's my guy. I can't wait for him to like come up and be like an awesome R&B pop star.
Yeah.
But like, but like from his first couple albums, I was like, yeah, this guy rules.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I thought his stuff was catchy. Sometimes I'll hear it on like if I go to a Nuggets game, they'll play in the background. I'm like, okay, that's pretty good. But
yeah,
the whole Ghostwriter stuff.
Yeah.
The whole I mean.
Okay, but I will also say that Pusha T's diss song to him was just mean. He's like, your parents never loved you. Your mom's never gonna find love. Your dad's a piece of shit. You have a secret kid. I mean, it's like, I was kind of like, whoa.
That, yeah.
You didn't need to take it that far.
Mm-hmm. They're never going to collaborate.
No.
Kendrick Lamar just came out with one.
Yeah.
He's playing chess. Like, he came out with a couple extra before Drake could rebuttal.
Yeah.
And he's like, the only note you sing is probably A minor. And I'm like, bro.
Dude.
And the cover of the song is Drake's house with a bunch of the pedophile flags that let you know where the pedophiles live in the neighborhood. Yeah, dude.
I mean, listen.
There's something to that I think people know that we don't.
Yeah.
And there's been rumors for a long time, and I just...
Yeah, since Millie Bobby Brown was in a movie. Or on TV, you know?
You know that podcast that this woman just came out with, like, recently?
Yeah.
She's the one who acts unenthused. She'll be like, I don't know, is it?
I don't know.
She interviews with, like, famous people, and she acts very, like, why?
Okay.
Why do you think you're famous? Like, type thing.
Okay.
And she did it in bed with Drake, and... this is it's a crazy thing to look up. She just got divorced from her husband around the time her husband filed for separation, around the time of the interview.
Okay.
Because there's rumors that Drake and her slept together. And
do you think they slept together that day?
I don't know. But she goes, would you sleep with me? Or no, am I your... No, she goes, am I your type? And he goes, I'd hit it. Or I would... he goes, I would do it or something.
Oh, God.
And the way he looks at her after that, it's like, oh,
ew.
bro, you
He's
are...
like those guys that are like, still smash, though.
Yeah, he's the guy at the bar that stands there and he, like, stares at you for too long. And you're like, I'm just looking for my friends. And he's just like...
gross.
You know what I mean? Like, he thinks... I have those friends who girls think they're looking at them.
Yeah.
But it's like, dog, they were looking for their friend for sure. And they just keep
They are
seeing
looking
you
for
at
their
them.
friend so that they don't have to talk to you, actually.
If Drake wasn't a famous musical artist, what would he be doing?
He'd be trying to, like... He'd just be like a Nepo baby, like, trying to start his own, like, streetwear company. You know what I'm saying?
He would own some, like... Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And his business would be in an alleyway in a place like Rhino.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, he'd for sure have like some streetwear that he would be scamming people.
Yeah.
He would be like, he'd probably be part of some pyramid scheme. He'd be like the upper echelon of some
You
pyramid
think
scheme.
so?
Or he would just give up and be like, you know what? I'm either going to be a realtor or a pastor. Life's ultimate give ups.
Definitely could have been. I think he could have probably been like a not really that good realtor, or I think he probably could have been a pastor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all great realtors, and shout out to Lindsay and Live
Yeah,
Laugh
shout
Denver.
out to Lindsay.
Live Laugh Denver rules.
Yeah.
They sponsor the room. So
Yeah.
and
They're not like other girls.
They generally aren't.
They really are. They are really cool.
They are really cool people.
Yeah.
But like Drake would be the one who gets fired from multiple places. Maybe loses his license. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for
like
sure.
he does some like work conduct stuff that like breaks some rules.
Yeah. But like somehow he's just like a cockroach. You can't really get rid of him.
Yeah, he would clearly be on the list officially if he didn't have people protecting him.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Drake, I hate you, dude.
Drake, I don't like you as much as I used to. Actually, yeah, I just really don't like Drake anymore. Sorry, man.
Oh yeah, this is now an anti-Drake podcast.
Yeah, it is.
Welcome to Nick and Molly's anti-Drake podcast, where we talk all things anti-Drake.
But I promise, we're some of the nicest people you'll meet in podcasting or comedy.
We're shit talking the entire time.
No, it's really Winnie. Winnie's the real hero here.
Oh,
aren't you?
Vinny, baby.
She's so perfect.
Are you on the pod?
You're the perfect dog. Oh. Well, Nick, do you have anything else that you want to get off your chest before we sign up, or anything that you'd like to promote? What's going on at Dude IDK Studios?
Buy merch.
Okay.
I haven't even promoted the merch yet. We don't have a lot left, and I'm cool about that.
Cool.
Come out with more merch. Come to the studio, record pods. I don't really have room to record pods now, but come watch shows. We're gonna start doing live pods.
Yeah,
this summer.
That's right.
So we're just doing different stuff here that I think the city needs, and I think the entire scene of podcasting and comedy needs. So
I agree. You're doing the Lord's work here.
Breaking the rules, but not breaking the rules. We were very legal.
Absolutely legal. Nick, not a mob boss.
I've been getting some emails lately that are like, "Do you serve alcohol, or do you serve liquor?" It's like, No, I don't. But because my events are private and this and that, you're allowed to bring your own. And it's annoying jargon and
So don't worry, everyone. Everything's in tip-top shape legally.
Come hang out.
But we're breaking the other kind of rules. You can dress like Adam Sandler here, okay?
Bring it, dude. Yeah, we get some dumb comedy in here and we laugh at it.
Yeah.
You'll hear me fake laughing in the back for sure sometimes.
Really?
I was editing some sets the other night and I was like, it was during the snowstorm when there was like 25 people in the audience and you hear me in the back going, ha 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 ha, like that.
Nick, have you ever fake laughed at a joke of mine? Be honest.
No.
Okay, good.
No.
All right.
I can't say that about anyone else though.
Only
never
me.
Molly.
Never. Thank you.
But come to a show. Come hang out with Molly and I. She's at every show.
Yeah, I'm around here a lot. And come see Winnie. She's here sometimes too.
Oh, what was?
A little love. All right, Nick. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.